In today's recording, we're going to continue from the Serenity Prayer and look more closely at radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is what we practice when something is real, painful, unfair, disappointing, or unwanted, but cannot be changed in this moment. The word acceptance can be tricky because it can sound like we're saying something is okay, or that we just give up. But in this context, acceptance does not mean approval. It doesn't mean we like it. It doesn't mean we agree with it. It doesn't mean we're giving up. And it certainly doesn't mean that we stop caring. A better way to think about acceptance might be coming to terms with reality, acknowledging what is true right now, making room for the fact that this is the situation, even if we wish it was different. Because sometimes, when something painful happens, our mind gets caught in a loop of this shouldn't be happening, this isn't fair, they shouldn't have done that, or things should be different. And a lot of the time, those thoughts are completely understandable. But if the thing has already happened, or if it's outside of our control right now, then continuing to fight with the fact that it exists can add a whole other layer of suffering. There is the original pain, and then there is the extra suffering that comes again from arguing with reality. For example, if I'm stuck in traffic and I'm already running late, I might keep thinking, this is ridiculous. I can't be late. This just can't be happening today. And those thoughts make sense, but they probably won't move the traffic. They'll probably just make my body more tense, my mind more frantic, and my next decision less wise. Radical acceptance might sound more like, I don't like this, I wish I was on time, but right now I'm stuck in traffic. This is the reality. What is the wisest thing I can do next? Or maybe someone I care about makes a choice that I disagree with. My mind might want to replay it again and again. Oh, they shouldn't be doing this. They should listen to me. I need to make them understand. But if I can't actually control their choice, radical acceptance might sound like, okay, I don't agree with this. I care deeply, but this is their choice, not mine. I can decide what boundary, support, or next step is wise for me. Radical acceptance is the practice of saying, this is what has happened. This is where things are right now. I don't have to like it, but I can recognize that this is real. And that recognition can give our nervous system a little bit more space. Instead of using all our energy resisting what has already happened, we can begin to ask, given that this is the reality, what is the wisest next step? Sometimes the wisest next step is action. Sometimes it's rest. Sometimes it's grieving. Sometimes it's setting a boundary. Sometimes it is simply getting through the next few minutes without making things worse. Radical acceptance isn't passive. It isn't weak. It isn't letting people off the hook. It's actually a very active skill. It takes effort to loosen our grip on how we think things should be and to turn towards how things actually are. So today's invitation is to notice when your mind is fighting reality. When you hear thoughts like, this shouldn't be happening, you might gently say, maybe it shouldn't be happening, but it is happening. Or, I don't like this, but I can accept that this is the situation right now. Or, I can stop fighting with the fact of it so I have more energy for what comes next. Or, there's a big part of this that is outside of my control, so I'm going to radically accept the parts that aren't in my control and focus on what I can actually influence. That is radical acceptance. Not approval, not giving up, not pretending that it doesn't hurt. Just a steady, honest recognition of reality so we can meet the moment with a little bit more wisdom and a little bit less suffering. I'd like to acknowledge that the example I used today of being stuck in traffic is a fairly benign one compared with some of the very real, painful, and life-changing things that we can face. In future episodes, we're going to look more closely at how radical acceptance applies in bigger and more complex situations. And I want to be clear that radical acceptance is not about being told to just get over it, move on, minimize your pain, or pretend that something is okay when it's not. Used well, it can be empowering and wise. Used clumsily, it can feel invalidating. And we'll keep returning to that distinction as we go along.